Welcome to the Shaman and The Medium. Those of you who are returning, thank you so very much. And those of you who are new, please be sure to check out our previous episodes. If anything at all resonates with you, please give us a like, share, subscribe, or leave us a comment, as we want this to be a safe space, a safe community space for all involved.
And you can find our podcasts on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Audible, iHeart, and Amazon Music and Podcasts for your convenience. And those links are in our link tree, which is in our bio. And down below are also links to TikTok and Instagram, where we just go into weekly discussions a bit further. We have links if you do feel aligned to share a love donation to the channel, as they are much appreciated and allows us to keep sharing what we want to share.
Absolutely. And today we will be talking about spiritual and energetic protection. And hang with us until the end, because we have our very first guest on today discussing crystals and how we can use them for our protection. So spiritual and energetic protection, they're pretty much practices that have been used by many people to shield themselves from negative energies, emotions, entities, whatever may be floating around that affects our well-being.
Yeah. And spiritual protection is a form of spiritual hygiene. If you really think about it, our energies can get heavy when we don't cleanse, just like taking a bath. You can feel sluggish, lazy, confused, anxiety, depression. So maintaining your spiritual hygiene can protect you not only in the spiritual world, but in our world, to keep your vibration high, protecting you from potential illness, mental health issues, and just toxic energy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I remember my first several years of nursing were quite challenging because of what all I was absorbing. But I didn't realize this was 17 years ago. I didn't know all the things that, I have come to, learn in that time. And so, I was coming home and I was, beyond exhausted, but also feeling all of the emotions. I mean, from pain, fear, sadness, grief, loneliness. I mean, all the things that you're feeling when you're in a hospital for whatever reason. And then also the family members and
right.
all the visitors, and then the therapists that are there, physical, PT, OT, all the things, but then also your co-workers. So just, absorbing all of the energies of all of those people day in, day out. I mean, my mental health was really, really struggling. The anxiety, the depression, and all because it was everyone else's crap, not mine. But I didn't know to protect myself, nor did I know about cleansing or how to cleanse or anything about that, So,
right.
Yeah, it's really impactful.
It is, especially in high energy places like that. The dense energy in hospitals.
Absolutely.
And, I don't know, government buildings
right.
and stuff. Like, it's a lot.
For sure.
It's when you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly.
My biggest one is just emotional protection. Our energy is really just emotions, energy getting swirled in it. Right. So when we have these heavy, intense, emotional conversations, fighting, arguing, just those possibly low vibrational emotions right. too. So you drop in frequency. And then on top of your emotional state and your feelings and trying to work through it all, I mean, how do you when all
right.
this stuff is happening?
Right.
So with those, like, heavy conversations, and a really easy thing to do is just Florida water spray. And you can make your own. Some people just use sage or eucalyptus or, whatever. But Florida water mixed sometimes with holy water, spray it, and it takes some of those emotions away, makes
right.
you feel better. I mean, it's literally just, just smelling essential oils
right.
going through.
But also, too, like, the most important part of doing any kind of energy work, clearing, protection, anything like that, is intention. So using your intention, calling in the light and whoever it is that you work with in the spirit realm to come in and assist you in removing these energies that are not yours, they're not serving you. And, in my opinion, the most important aspect of cleansing and protecting is going to be from your spirit team.
Right. I totally agree. Calling in your spirit team, you have to develop a relationship with them.
Right.
Also believing that they're doing it.
Exactly.
It's the amount of that as well.
Is belief. Our minds have so much more power than we give ourselves credit for, but
right.
And also more than we've been allowed to give ourselves credit for. So trust yourself. Your mind is powerful, but you have to believe. You have to believe it to be true. Same thing with manifestation. It is here. I already have it. It's already here.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you can just be reading a prayer you find and then just be reading it, but there's no emotions. There's nothing. So it's not gonna go. So developing that one-on-one with them is a huge one.
Yeah.
Archangel Michael as well is known for a huge protector in all realms.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have running an invocation for Archangel Michael and the Helpers of the Light to come in and run energetic nets through your physical and energetic field, which is really powerful, really amazing. We're huge fans of it, and actually I'll put that in the comments on YouTube. So if you're listening on it on another platform, pop over to YouTube and check out this episode. I'll put stuff in the comments. There's actually a lot of stuff today I'm going to put in the comments to help you guys as well.
Yeah, and calling on them 3 times is a huge thing,
especially in an emergency.
Yes,
because if you come across some wonky energy, or you're in a store and there is someone that's staring you up and down and you feel very uncomfortable, whatever be happening, like you call them 3 times, they will arrive, but you have to know that they will, and they will.
Yeah, and this is for anybody that y'all connect with, but a couple good ones is Yeshua, Anubis, Tahuti, which is Thoth, the Egyptian god, as well as figuring out who your protection guide is. If we have millions, or not millions, but I'm sorry, like hundreds of guides that we have no idea of, but if you're interested in going into that route, just to know who's designated to you, they will not break your boundaries. They need consent in order to know to protect you for your highest good. Yeah,
they will literally, they will stand by and they will keep an eye on you and they will watch you as you're struggling, because this is a planet of free will. So we have free will. So, they will not cross those boundaries the way humans cross boundaries left and right,
Right.
But yeah, so it's, we have to call them in, remembering that they are there and we are never, ever, ever alone. So just having that in our brain and being mindful that, I'm really struggling with this, or, this is happening, whatever it is in life, you have help, but you have to call on them and they will assist.
Right. And if you don't know, how to establish, there's plenty of, guided meditations to meet your spiritual guides as well. But, for the protection side of it, the protector guide is to me, it's the leader of all of them.
Right.
So go to them.
Yeah.
They have specific duties when they're protecting you, and you can always ask to add more to their plate.
Right.
And they can be they can shield us 24/7 if that's what we need, but not too much.
Right.
It's you have to be direct, just like manifestation.
Right.
Because you don't want to be too protected.
Right. Yeah, because then your guides can't get in if you're too protected. So we also set the intention of, only love and light is allowed in. All darkness must repel off and go to the light, go to where it belongs, but not here. And when you're putting up, a bubble, we want to make sure that we don't put it all the way around our feet. Literally we want it to go all the way down to the core of the earth. That way we are still connected to Pachamama, because we want to be grounded for sure. But then also, I like to toss my golden cord from my crown chakra up to the highest and holiest of heavens. And so then I'm connected there, I'm grounded, and then shield myself from there so that I can still, receive communication from the higher realms and still receive communication from Mother Earth. And yes, that's my way, but everyone, do your own thing, don't listen to me. Literally, go do your own thing, like we're just dropping seeds and trying to help people, but ultimately, like, this is, a practice to cultivate, of your own fruition, whatever, resonates with you.
Right. And also, I had, the understanding, years ago that you do a guided meditation, have Archangel Michael shield you,
right,
and then you're done.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do it again. You can do
ever
it
again, ever. Yeah, just the one
exactly.
time.
Like, I asked you, keep me protected for the rest of life.
Right.
No, it's not. It doesn't.
Unfortunately.
It doesn't work that way.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So,
it takes effort.
Yes, I've had to clear myself a gazillion million times a day,
right,
depending on what I'm doing, even going into Walmart. No.
Well, especially there.
Well, yeah. So, again, asking multiple times, doing it every day, setting that intention of it, it just builds to your...
For sure.
It builds to your connection with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like, visualization really is, like, one of the most simple and powerful tools that we can use to, put up a shield or a bubble or whatever it is that we need, because you can do that anywhere, anytime. Who cares, who's looking? Just, you don't even have to close your eyes.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And imagining the shield as a barrier, it repels all the negativity, allows all the good to come in,
right,
give you the good love, lessons, friendships, relationships, whatever. But just to visualize that bubble of white, golden, blue ray,
right,
whatever,
right,
of light.
Yeah. Salt is another good one. So salt's been used, for, purifying properties as well as protecting properties. So you can use it as, in your home or in your workspace or, wherever you need it. Sprinkle it, around your home. Like we do the window seals and the doorways. But then also you could put bowls of salt in the corners of your rooms, and then whenever it's going to absorb negative energy. That is the intention with it as well. So set your intention when you're placing that bowl. But then there's also Himalayan salt lamps too. So salt lamps. So we learned in a very traumatic experience the hard way, but we learned how much the enemy, the dark side, does not like, well, obviously light, but also does not like salt. And so, like, that, like, yeah, but, like, it's on a real deal. So, like, we have salt lamps over our home, but also we have salt night lights too, so that when, at night, we just have those on, and that still kind of keeps it illuminated and the salt, and so they really don't like hanging around that.
Right.
So that's super helpful. But then, even taking a salt bath. So you can use Epsom salt or Dead Sea salt, and cleanse your energy and your aura. It's amazing how much a shower will cleanse your aura. But when you add the salt and you do a bath, like that's like stepping it up a notch. So if you want to really, raise your vibration with it too, so not just cleanse, but also, uplift, put some rose petals or some rose essential oil, flowers, herbs, and yeah, it's amazing. Roses actually carry one of the highest vibrations, and we actually use, rose water, on a regular basis. It's literally everything. Like, seriously, like, it's everything. So it is just nice, and it's refreshing, and it's great for your face, just saying. Yeah. But yeah, so yeah. So got for salt. Yeah.
I got distracted by the rose water.
I know, I love it.
So of that self-care, that's a big one.
For sure.
Do things that you want to do and implement them into your schedule.
Yeah.
Pick a day, if you can do it once every 2 weeks, like it will do you wonders.
If you can do one evening a week, 1 hour a week, literally 1 hour a week, if you can do at least that, do that, do it before bed, kids are asleep, whatever be the case,
Right, and even if it's taking a longer shower,
Right.
or putting a clay mask on, whatever.
Ooh. Also, with showers, because you don't already always have like a bath or whatever, like, or have time for a bath too. But if you put some Epsom salt in at the bottom of your shower and like fill it up, a little bit with water, and then stand in that while you're showering, it's also gonna help with detoxification of your body and getting toxins out too. So, just little ways we can do it,
Right.
when we don't have the time.
And this isn't just like the spiritual woohoo about it. This is like the self-care. Go
Right.
get your nails done.
Mm-hmm.
Go find a new book. Go shopping.
Yeah.
Do those things that you want to do. The mix of both is what we're here for.
Balance. Absolutely.
So self-care is just as important in the 3D realm as it is spiritually.
Yeah, for sure. But also, like, with the self-care aspect, candles. I love candles, and lighting candles also invoke spirit too. Also, make sure set your intention on the spirits you want to invoke. Otherwise, you're going to need a lot more of this episode. Bring in something else. But yes, my favorite candles are made by Crystal Journey, and they're actually Reiki charged. So each one comes already infused with the intention, as well as like when you hold it, and it comes each of their candles comes with an invocation. And so I like to hold the candle in one hand and say the invocation. And by the time I say it 3 times, I just like to say say things 3 times. That's what works for me. So by the time I get to the third one and I'm holding it and I actually light it, like, my hand is throbbing. You can feel that source energy that is filled in there. So I love it. The protection one is awesome. It's one of the black ones. That one stays with Anubis because he's one of our protectors. And for whatever reason, that candle burns the longest, like twice as long as any of the others. So I like that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other things we can burn too is, sage. Who doesn't love good sage? So sage, when you're using, sage, also setting your intention, you want to give gratitude to the plants. Any plants you're working with, you want to thank them for helping you and doing the work, because even though it just seems like, there's spirit in here. There is a spirit that is living within, so we want to give gratitude and honor that. But so as you're, cleansing yourself or your home, you're asking that, that any negativity, anything that's not for your highest good, to be removed with the smoke and go to spirit. It's kind of shifting your energy and shifting the energy of your home or wherever it is that you're using it. Sage your car, sage anything you are. If you can't burn in a place, they do make sage sprays. So, like, especially in hospitals, you can't go around obviously burning sage, but you can, give a little spray on the side around your space. Obviously be mindful of others. It's not everyone's gonna be down with it, but then. And then if there's some serious protection needed, dragon's blood. Dragon's blood is like an extra layer of protection. So when you use that, we really only use that for serious needs, which it's been used, but yeah. So then once you empty out all of the darkness that is around, then you want to bring in something sweet. So I like Palo Santo, sacred wood. So, Palo Santo is used all over the world. I actually had a client that is from another country, and in ceremony, she was like, oh my gosh, she was like, I know that. She's like, I know that wood, but she called it something else, I forget what it was. But, she said, that's what we use to bless babies. Well, I had no idea that it was a thing all over the place and they use it for things like that. Sure, to bless, yeah, absolutely, but I didn't know that. So, yeah, and it's so sweet. It smells so good.
Oh yeah, that's our favorite.
It's literally, it is our favorite. There's also cedar. One of my guides, Macha, my main protector guide, he loves cedar, so I burn that for him. And sweetgrass. Sweetgrass is another beautiful, beautiful one. So get a braid of that. And yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, there's other smokes, but Pacho is another one too that you can use to purify as well. But that one's one you definitely want to learn a bit about it before you start using it and praying into the medicine before you light it and do stuff like that. And just remember, anytime there's an empty space, so if you're removing energy from your home, from yourself, and then okay, now it's gone. You can't just stop there, because then there's room for other things not of the light to come in and take a space. So you want to make sure you're filling up. So then, set your intention to fill up with love and light and call that in and fill up those spaces that has been removed. Holy water. Holy water is another good one. You can use it for yourself, you can use it for your spaces, you can put it in your sink, you can put it in your toilet, because things come up there too. Close your toilet seats also. Just close your toilet seats. Things happen there. Truly. I mean, it's a thing.
I never believed it until
exactly. So I'm giving you a warning. What you do is what you do. If you learn the hard way, I mean, as we have, then that's fine too.
Your electrical and water system is an actual thing.
Absolutely.
When it comes to evil.
Yeah, big time. Even if I touch something that, has been like, say I let a colleague, borrow a pen. Well, I know that colleague's got some darkness with them, and then they give me the pen back. Well, I'm going to want to, do a little holy water rinse on that and just go ahead and, clear that out. But if I accidentally touch it, then I'll, put a little on my hands too and just, cleanse. So, I mean, at this point, with some of the lessons that we have been so honored to learn, it goes with us everywhere. Yeah.
Literally.
Uh-huh.
And essential oils is also a big one, like
Frankincense.
Yes. Myrrh, cedarwood, lavender, known for their protective and grounding properties. You can diffuse these oils, mix them with a carrier oil for a protective blend, or just use them in rituals or meditation practices.
Yeah, you can infuse them around your home. Just be mindful of like kids and dogs and animals, because some oils are not specific or not safe for animals. So be mindful of that. But also, like we use a frankincense, myrrh, incense for any ceremony, any ritual work. Anytime we start recording, because this is a sacred space, we light that as well. That is one that is that's a big one for protection. And I don't know if anybody resonates with that book they call the Bible, but it's mentioned as well in there. And like I use a frankincense myrrh soap, so I literally wash myself in protection every day before I get started. My favorite one is made by Plant Life, so obviously it's all natural. It's just herbs and all that good stuff. But yeah, it smells great also. But yeah, protect.
Yes. Also, incense. Too is there's like specific ones for archangels. Big one is obviously Archangel Michael. Light it and set the intention or a prayer. Especially before like a meditation or just grounding. It's a good way. So regular meditation and grounding can help you center yourself, release those negative energies, and just strengthen your energetic boundaries and the awareness of yourself with grounding.
And being in the sun too. So like, grounding, if you do it during the day, then you're being in the sun, so you're being cleansed by the light also. So yeah, for sure. But then also, like I love a good guided meditation, especially, when my mind is just really chatty. Steve Nobel is actually one of my favorite creators that is on YouTube. And I'll actually put one of his in the comments as well of the YouTube. it's a segment protection one. So it clears you, but it also protects you. It protects your space. It brings in archangels, all the good stuff. So yeah, I'll do that for you guys too. But also, so the Merkaba. So your Merkaba is like literally your light body. Mer is light, Ka is spirit, and Ba is body. So it's your light spirit body, okay? So the Merkaba, you can do medications, or you can do meditations. I would prefer if you did meditations and medications, but whatever. So the Merkaba, you can ask to be placed into a Merkaba for protection and for healing as well. So whether it be physical healing, spiritual healing, emotional healing, if you're really going through it, it's not something I would say go ask on that every day. But if you're really going through it, you really, really need help, or you really need some serious protection, ask to be placed in a Merkaba. And you can ask that Merkaba, travel with you throughout your day. So if you put it around you or you put it around your home, obviously then that's going to be there, stationary. But and then also affirmations. It's so simple. Like, I am safe. Beautiful Chorus is actually one of my favorite groups. I'll give you that link too, because their song "I Am Safe" literally has really gotten me through a lot when I'm really feeling the stress of life and feeling fear, because fear is a very low vibrational space to be in, and that is literally how these entities will attach to us. And not all entities are demons, so go and get that out of your head. It's not that serious, literally, but there are lower vibrational entities that they feed on that energy, but when they come and they come and they come and they come and they attach, then they're going to keep you there. So you want to make sure that you are doing everything you can on a regular basis to stay as clean as possible.
Definitely. Some people wear or even carry amulets and talismans, or protective symbols like the evil eye or pentagram, or Hamsa hand for added protection. These symbols are believed to ward off those negative energies, provide a sense of security. We even have little evil eyes in every window. That was a suggestion from Yeshua.
Yeah, so that helps. My favorite, actually, what's up here? My favorite is my Organite Ankh. So this was made, So this was made by two beautiful goddesses. Their business is actually Emerald Orgon. Of course, I'm going to put a link for that too. So check out their website. They're awesome. I hold this when I'm doing some of my work. And we got copper and crystals in there. It's pretty dope. But even just having it by me, and sometimes if I'm having some challenges in my sleep space, because we do get attacked in other realms when we're sleeping. So sometimes if I'm having some issues there, then I'll sleep with this under my pillow or right beside me, whatever. The scarab is also another good one. So that's going to be some Egyptian mythology, but the scarab, so it's like a little beetle. So you can call on the scarab. You could also get a little amulet to carry with you or to wear. It's cool stuff. Then we have too the there's so much wearable tech now. I'm not going to get into that because that's like a whole episode itself, but what I love to use is my etheric weaver. So this is a healing tool, so I do use this in healing sessions, but if I'm not working on somebody else, I never leave home without it. I put it on for any kind of work I'm doing on others. It actually will transmute any low vibrational energies and turn it into Christ's light and send it back out. So it protects me, but it also absorbs and transmutes it. So that's another cool one too.
As well as sound healing. I mean, that's a really big one too. So sound can be a powerful tool for cleansing energy. You can use sound bowls, bells, chimes, chanting, creating a hum in your throat can also
yeah, totally.
can clear stagnant energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, so like, tincture bells, that right there can do it. But if you don't have that, or you don't want that, or that ain't your thing, like just go around your house clapping, you can use any kind of bells, any kind of bells will help too. But yeah, if you have any kind of tuning forks or sound bowls or anything, but what I like to do as well is if, I'm doing things, I will just put on, you can look on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, whatever it is, and, pull up, sound bowls and play that, because, the dark does not like those high frequencies. That is too high for them. And so they will scatter because they don't want to hear it. It doesn't resonate with them.
Right. And also, my favorite is the pan drum.
Oh, yeah.
And then they'll increase.
Absolutely.
I can't remember his name. He's amazing. He's like all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to find it and figure it out. But that, and also music, so high vibrational music. There's a lot that they can put into our music.
Yeah.
And most today's music is in a lower frequency.
Intentionally.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, because they want us to stay in our root chakra. Like, that's like, if you think out there is really trying to help you, it's not. But because we stay in our root chakras, then we are focused on consumption. We are focused on sexual gratification. We are focused on eating. We are focused on traumas. So if we're staying there, then that's not the space we want to be in. Our heart chakras.
Yeah, and I mean, I still am trying to find my balance when it comes to certain ones. Like, I'll put a max, because you can feel like,
oh yeah,
you drop.
Yep.
Especially when you do have those emotions and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just, yeah. Our brain literally can't tell the difference with the lyrics if it's angry, sad, inappropriate.
Right.
It's the same way as talking smack about somebody. Your brain can't tell that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a computer. It's thinking it's about
For
yourself.
sure.
So the music is literally the same way.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. But if you pay attention to how you feel, I'm not saying get rid of it completely.
Find balance.
Hers would be get rid of it. Mine would be, part like a rock star, but then go, So you got to do it.
Look. But here's the thing. I love hip hop. I love classic rock. I love all sorts of music. But when I put on hip hop, I'm not gonna lie. I want to day drink. I want to shake my ass, and I want to get wild. So it's like, but that's exactly the intention of creation of that kind of music, is to put you in your root chakra. Is any of that of love? No. I mean, I can dance, but I don't need to be like, I can be appropriate about it too. It's just a matter of, choosing what's right for you, what's for your highest and best. Is it for your highest and best that you engage in those activities? I mean, maybe it is. I don't know, but just knowing what is best for you. For me, it's not, because then I'll get wild, I'll get out of hand, and a past version of me did not know how to stop or when to stop, and so it's like I'm moving forward, I'm rising, I'm healing, I'm growing, so I don't want to be held back by things of the past, behaviors of the past that never served me,
Right. Again, it's all up to that person, because the same song that would make her want to go shake her ass is the same one that makes me want to go run a mile, because it pumps me up.
Right.
It gives me confidence. Does those things.
Okay.
So use your discernment.
But
Discernment
also,
is a big one.
Yes, it is. But also, there is a ton of high vibrational spiritual music out there. There's even hip hop, like Moonlight Scorpio. She's dope. She's hip hop, but it's high vibrational, and you know what I mean? Like it's good stuff. It's not keeping me in my root chakra. It's not activating my sexual organs. You know what I mean? Aniko is another one of my favorites. I think she's kind of like an indie type, but she's classified as pop. I think she's probably been on the radio, but she's more of a spiritual artist. Like the things she sings about and aliens and all the things, like she's dope. But I mean, there are so many options out there. So like, don't think, well, everything else is gonna suck. Like, I don't want to listen to, you know, elevator music all day. Well, you don't have to. Like, that's the amazing part about it. Like, it's good. It's good.
That's how I thought. Spotify has really like opened up a lot for me, but it, be honest, doesn't fulfill every part, but at least it doesn't take me down. So at least I can get some fill, and then go and listen to something that, you know, I would listen to.
I mean, the last day you spent hours, you know, you were cleaning and doing your thing, and you were listening to that music. By the end of it, you were like, yeah, I can't do that again. Like, it really impacted you. I think that was the first time that it really dropped you, and it was palpable, you know? So, yeah, again, just be mindful, you know?
Right. Especially when you have those feelings. I think that, like, we were in a tiff, and then I just focused on myself, put music on, it amplified those emotions.
And I put on my music, and I'm like, yes, all is well, life is good, I'm so grateful to be here, you know? So, you know, whatever is, you know.
Yes, it's
which wolf do you want to feed? You know, we have two wolves. Which one do we feed? Do we want to feed our light? Do we want to feed our dark?
Right.
I mean, in each moment, you know, you have free will to make your choice. You do you, boo. Like, truly.
Right. So just setting those boundaries is just a big one. And that's with yourself. That you got to honor yourself through it. Embrace what you want to, but also honor like what is affecting you.
Yeah, and you know, with boundaries too, I mean, it, you know, it's important to set those in all of your relationships and your interactions for your energetic protection, whether it be, you know, your spouse, your children, your work, your friends, whatever. And, you know, learning to say no to things that drain your energy. If it's not a heck yeah, I'm in, then it's a no. You know, like, you know, we don't need to compromise ourselves. Literally, we don't need to compromise ourselves, like, period. You know, surrounding yourself with, you know, positive influences, you know, avoiding situations that make you feel uncomfortable or that you feel vulnerable in. And sometimes, you know, things happen when you're in a situation, but then it's okay to remove yourself. It's like, give yourself permission to do what's best for you. And if other people are not okay with that, then that is literally, you know, something for them to work through. It's not on you. Either way, protect yourself, because I mean, truly, you're the only one that is going to do it. You know, there is no one coming to save you other than you.
Right.
And that was a big realization for me several years ago. It was like, oh, I'm just sitting here waiting for somebody to come. Ain't nobody coming. All right, I guess I'll tighten up and grow up a little bit then. Fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't force yourself if you feel like it's a no on your boundaries. Put yourself first. And also, if you stay in that space of being low vibrational, you can manifest your own lower entity with you. Like, that is...
Oh, it's called an egregore. Especially, yeah, even if you are feeling like you have anxiety and you say, I'm really anxious, I have anxiety. Every time you say that, you are literally building an entity and feeding that entity. And the more you feed it, the bigger it gets and the harder it is to release that lower vibrational experience, you know? So if you are feeling that, shift it in your mind. It's all about the power of the mind. You know what? I feel great. I'm so glad that I feel so calm. And you literally call that in, because that's gonna like irritate all of that crap and it's gonna leave, you know? So while you're cleansing, do that. Because sometimes when I feel anxious, because like I don't feel anxiety really anymore, thank you heavens and the earth and God, because like, I mean, seriously, you know, with the healing work and plant medicines and plants and just eating right and doing things, I just don't have that anymore. But when it does come, I know it's not me. That's not me. Well, what is that? Whose is that? You know what I mean? So cleanse myself, and then affirmations just to pull me out of that.
Yes. Right. So boundaries, again, huge thing. Yeah. And also just a small thing about like the people that are around you. It helps to switch your pattern of thinking is that sometimes when people are just a douchebag or someone else just turned nice and then became a douchebag, it can easily have just grabbed something. You grab negative energy, and sometimes that person is really just is not your enemy. It can easily just be the thing attached.
Or an entity working through them, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
There is a thing of walking demons.
Yep. That's for a later day.
Literally. So.
We have our very first guest on the Shaman and the Medium. She's a dear friend of mine. Her name is Stephanie. She is a crystal connoisseur, so much so that crystals even talk to her. The name of Stephanie's business is Heart of the Phoenix, and I will drop a link below to her website. All of these links can be found under the video on the YouTube platform, so please go check it out. And also check her out on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Welcome, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. All right, so tell us about crystals and how we can protect our energy with crystals.
Well, what do you want to know?
Well, which crystals are good for everyday use? I guess that'd be a good place to start.
Okay, so I've got a couple of examples that I'd like to share with you. So first we have we have some black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is a staple for a lot of experienced, even new crystal practitioners or those who are doing crystal healing. This is one of my favorite pieces. This is a rough version of black tourmaline. This is one of my favorite pieces that I have. This is tourmaline and quartz. And quartz is going to amplify, quartz is going to amplify the tourmaline. So tourmaline is a protective stone. It's also a grounding stone. It's really good for people with anxiety because it offers this sense of calmness. It takes, one of my favorite aspects of tourmaline is it takes negative energy and it transmutes it into positive energy, which makes it ideal for wearing, using in grids. It's a strong energy without being too overwhelming, but it doesn't compromise itself when you're using it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So what does it mean? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I had a couple more examples if you wanted me to.
Oh, perfect. Please. Yes. Please do.
Okay.
Please, yes.
So another one of my favorites is smoky quartz. Smoky quartz is an excellent emotional detoxer. It is great for those who are in very high energy environments. This is a cluster form of it.
Nice.
But it really helps not only emotionally detox yourself, but protect you from the emotions of other people around you. So it's great for empaths.
Right. Yeah.
Obsidian.
I actually carry this little smoky quartz with me every day, as a nurse, to help protect me, again, from not only my own, but everyone else's too. So yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it keeps you from picking up those emotions when you're in a high energy environment like that.
Absolutely.
Smoky quartz is probably, if anybody asks me to recommend like one crystal to get, it's going to probably be smoky quartz because it's versatile. It's calming. It hits a lot of the major points working with detoxifying those emotions.
Right. Awesome. Cool.
One more I wanted to touch on is obsidian, because obsidian is a very popular protection and grounding stone. And the reason I wanted to touch on obsidian is it's volcanic glass. And it's got such a strong connection to Mother Earth and that earth energy. Beautiful. If you're prone to depression, step away from using your smoke or using your obsidian for a little bit, because it is such a strong grounder. It can actually amplify that depression. Okay. So if you're prone to depression, limit using it, or try something like a mahogany obsidian. Mahogany is where it's got the pieces of wood in it, or the snowflake obsidian. You can see like this one is a piece of snowflake.
Yeah, I love
It's
snowflakes. Yeah.
Yeah, it offers the same kind of energy as obsidian with just a little bit of a gentler touch to it.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Right on. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So I'm one that I've lost a ton of crystals over my time since I've started working with crystals. What does it mean if I lose a crystal?
I like to take the perspective when you lose a crystal that you're just not in alignment with that energy. Um,
Okay.
Sometimes think of it as magnets, right? We're drawn to certain things and we repel certain things. Okay. I come from the perspective where all energy is neutral. It is our perspective that makes it positive or negative. Something that
Right.
we're not necessarily drawn to, somebody else might be. So
Right.
just where we are energetically, it's
Mhm.
just not something that is in alignment with you, or it's not
Okay.
for your best and highest good.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Good to know. Now, I wear your bracelets and your bracelets only. But I also frequently they will break. It does seem to be that the majority of mine that break are my protective ones. So either you or your daughter so kind enough to restring them for me. But what does it mean when I break my bracelets, or if I break an actual just a crystal on my shelf, or what does that mean? Spiritually
So
or energetically.
So this is where if a bracelet breaks, sometimes it can be, well, and as you know, Tess, I make my bracelets differently than those that are available
Right.
out there on the market. Um, some, a lot of those that are available on the market are just low quality elastic. And elastic does
Right.
break down over time. When you're
Yeah.
wearing it on your wrists, it's exposed to water, it's exposed to the sun.
Hmm.
It's getting caught on clothes, things like that. So they can just
Right.
naturally break. This is where I would encourage you to use your discernment. And as I've told you before, I'm not restringing that one, but I'll
Right.
restring this
Right.
one. Use your
Yeah.
discernment on
For sure.
how you feel when you're
Right.
holding those. Okay. If a crystal is like sitting on let's say you have a piece of amethyst and it's sitting next to your bedside table and you're using it for peaceful, restful sleep. And you wake up and maybe like the tip's chipped or, but it's still in the same spot. It could have taken some kind of energetic surge. It could have
Okay.
been you were having some kind of dream or something like that. And you were releasing a lot of energy. Again,
Right.
this is where I encourage you to use your discernment. Is this something that you can still use? Is this something that you are still connected to? Okay.
Right.
Most
Yeah.
people will tell you the minute something breaks, bury it. I'm a big believer in discernment. Okay.
Right.
With all of the work that I do in crystals, and as much as I've worked with all of the crystals in my collection, um, I prefer not to bury them. I have what I call my retirement village in my
Yeah.
office. This is where crystals that have broke, the crystals that I use in my practice, if they need a vacation or they're just kind of done for a while, that's
Yeah.
where they go. That's where they sit. This way they can still be admired, enjoyed,
Right.
offer their energy to that office space.
Right. Yeah. I love the crystal rehab. It's great.
Yes, yep.
Yep, for sure. For sure. So, what is a good way to cleanse my crystals or my bracelets after a long day of protecting me and absorbing all the energies that I've been with all day long?
So a I'm not a subscriber to the traditional cleanse my crystals every day.
Okay.
Again, this is where you follow your intuition. You use your discernment
Right.
to decide what is best for you and your
Sure.
tools. Because I'm going to offer you a little bit of a different perspective here. Because why use crystals? Why are we using them as a healing tool if they are just as susceptible to energy as we are? Okay.
Right.
Like to cleanse my crystals with, I'm going to back up a little bit. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Fine.
Please.
Um, sorry, I just got. Okay, so if you think about crystals' energy versus our energy, crystals have a single solid, strong vibration. Okay,
Okay.
they are they are solid. We as humans are made up of multiple frequencies, multiple vibrations. One of the reasons we are so drawn to working with crystals is because we crave that stability. Okay. So our crystals are a lot more stable than what we think they are.
Humans? Sounds
Than
about
humans.
right.
Oh, yes. No, they are definitely more stable than us.
Right.
They have that solid single vibration. And what gives them that vibration is the specific repeating pattern of their molecules. Okay. It takes a lot to knock a crystal out of its vibration, but it does happen. Now, this is where I encourage you to follow your intuition. Okay. Use your discernment to decide what needs cleansed, when it needs cleansed. Now, I prefer to cleanse my crystals with sound. Okay. You can use, there's other ways that you can do it. You can use the sun, you can use water, you can use salt. But with those, you have to remember what can go in what, the do's and don'ts.
Right.
You know, you have to take into consideration the damage that those elements can cause. You know, like selenite can't go in water. It'll dissolve eventually. And with a lot of polished crystals, you don't know what that polish actually consists of. So is what you're doing going to break them down? You also have to worry about fading if you put them in the sun. Okay. Now, I'm not saying these are wrong. Just follow your intuition on what you need to do. Smudging. Some people like to smudge their crystals. I equate smudging to sweeping. Okay. The smudging is going to clear the area around the crystal. That vibration of smudge doesn't like actually penetrate the way sound would. All right. Tuning forks. Tuning forks and singing bowls. You can't go wrong with those. You can cleanse every single crystal without having to worry about causing damage. You know, I take that little note. Don't take your tuning fork and hit it on the crystal to cleanse it. That will cause damage. Okay.
Yes, it will.
But if you're just taking your tuning fork, unfortunately I can't reach mine, but if you're just taking your tuning fork and going around it, that vibration is penetrating your crystal. Okay. So that's one of my favorite ways. A lot of people use the moonlight. I love taking my tools out into the moonlight, especially most of the time. I'm just taking the tools that I'm using for whatever moon ceremony I'm performing. Those are the tools that go out. Sometimes I'll take additional crystals out that I feel need to be recharged or cleansed that way. Again, use your discernment, trust your intuition.
Yeah.
For the protection of the crystal, do you have to be holding it, or can you have it near you to have the same benefit of it?
I mean, obviously, the closer it is to your body, the deeper it is in your energetic field. But there's really no right or wrong way to use crystals. You can wear them as bracelets. You can put them on your bedside table. You can carry them in your car. However it resonates with you. You know, I love to carry crystals in my bra. Some people don't.
Well, I can get the most in there too, you know, so it's, you know, I can bring all my friends with me instead of just a couple friends, you know. And
they actually have bras that have like little pockets in them, so you can just stick it in the pocket and it's not
now?
like it is a thing.
That's awesome. That's amazing. I love it. So what crystals are good for holding boundaries with individuals in our life, or even like, you know, customers or patients or whatever it is that you do, you know?
I'm going to go back to black tourmaline. Black tourmaline is a really good energetic boundary stone. I use it to grid my session room. I grid my house with it. If you're looking for something that not, how do I put this? So black tourmaline I like to use for more like gridding spaces. Now, let's say you're in an office and you can't necessarily put a grid out. You know, that's not something you're comfortable with or not something that you're able to do. Kyanite is another strong boundary stone. Okay. And basically the color of kyanite is going to kind of help you determine what you want. Sorry, my brain is working faster than my mouth.
It's okay. That's my life too. I feel you.
The boundary that you want to set is going to determine the color of kyanite that you use. So if you'd want to set like
Okay.
a protection boundary, like let's say you have a really toxic coworker and you share an office space with them, you put a piece of black kyanite in that or in a drawer on that side of the desk that they
Okay.
normally pass. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Cool.
blue kyanite, if you have that toxic coworker that likes to spread rumors and things like that, blue kyanite is what I would use. Again, just put a small
Okay.
piece of it in your desk. This
Okay.
is actually, you can see some quartz mixed in here, so it's going to amplify that energy of the blue kyanite.
Cool.
Um,
Yeah.
it's going to keep that toxic energy from hitting you. If they like to come up to your desk and be like, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? But you're not a
Right.
confrontational person and you're like, you know what, office gossip isn't for me. Or you know what, I've
Right.
really got to get this project done, but they don't understand that boundary. Putting the piece
Yeah.
of blue kyanite in your desk is going to keep that line.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So we can kind of think about the blue kyanite with the throat chakra and if people are talking smack kind of thing. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Cool. So what if are there any like crystals that don't vibe with other crystals that we want to be mindful of if we want to carry multiple crystals in our bra?
I love this question because I spent the first part of my practice letting people critique my work and taking it personally. That
Right.
doesn't go with that. Okay. Trust your intuition. Okay. Follow your internal guidance system. Don't let people tell you this and that doesn't go together because
Perfect.
it really comes down to your intention, right?
Yeah.
I've got an altar tray in the middle of my house that would drive most people nuts to look at because I have got, I don't know, there's probably 40 to 50 small pieces in there. Okay.
Right.
It's the center of my house grid. And, anybody in the house, if they're struggling with something, they know that they can come pull a crystal off, take it with them, and put it back when they're done.
Nice.
Now, don't get me wrong, crystal chaos is a thing. Okay, you can have crystal chaos. But if you're using crystals in a specific manner with intention, it's going to cut down on that crystal chaos. Okay.
Right.
So one of the examples that I get a lot of, and unfortunately I don't have my sunstone harmonizer, I lent it to somebody, but is sunstone and moonstone. Okay.
Okay.
Sun, moon, masculine, feminine, right?
Yeah.
But together they represent duality.
Yeah.
So when you use them together, and this is one of my favorite combinations for clients who are looking for that uplifting life change. Okay.
Okay.
Sunstone is full of lots of positive energy. The moonstone, rainbow moonstone, is really good for embracing change, that intuition. Using them together can facilitate that. Okay. But most people are like, oh, they're opposites. Yeah. But when you think about duality and how everything works together, not so much.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Are those good ones too for like if you were in like a deep transition? Like say, you're leaving your spouse or you're leaving your career and you're just completely transforming your life. Are
it's
those
a great
two also good for that as well?
Mm-hmm. It's a great combination.
Okay. Awesome. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So our final question is, how do you know if a crystal doesn't vibe with you or if it doesn't want to, go home with you? Say you're in a store and you're trying to pick out a crystal and you're like, yeah, this one's pretty. But how do you know if it actually wants to be with you as much as you want to be with it?
And that's a great question. I get asked that a lot because some people are like, well, I love rose quartz, but I haven't found a piece that resonates with me. Okay. Now, it's one of my favorite things to tell people to do. Is to take the crystal, place it in your left hand. Okay.
Okay.
Don't squeeze it. because that automatically programs stress into your body. Think about it. When you
Got
start
it.
to get upset and mad, what do? You clench your fists.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you can lightly wrap your hand around it or just hold it open. But I want you to
Okay.
close your eyes. All right. Ask yourself, where do I feel this crystal? Kind of turn that energy inwards. Where do I feel
Okay.
this crystal? What do I feel it's doing for me? Because some people will pick up a piece of like smoky quartz and instantly start crying and go, nope, it's not for me. Can't do it. That's not necessarily a bad thing when you consider what
Right.
smoky quartz does.
Right.
It could be helping you facilitate release of some of those emotions. Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
therefore you're automatically kind of pushed away from it when you really do need it. Okay.
Right.
So
Okay.
hold it in your hand. Ask yourself where you feel it inside. What is it doing for you? Now, when you open your eyes, you may have noticed that your hand may have moved further away. It may not be a piece for you.
Okay.
Your hand
Okay.
may have moved closer. This is you drawing that energy in. I would
Okay.
recommend buying that piece
Cool.
or working with that piece if it's something you own.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Makes
people
sense.
can feel dizzy when they pick up crystals. Again,
Mhm.
not necessarily a bad thing if you
Right.
take into consideration the metaphysical properties.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is about how it makes you feel, but also doing that internal check of why is it making you feel this way.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's kind of like moldavite. You pick up moldavite, something's gonna happen. Now what? There's no telling, but something will happen.
Moldavite is one of those stones that when people ask me about it, if I have any for sale, it's like, well, I'm going to ask you a few questions first.
Right. Right.
Because and I'll tell people, no, I'm sorry, I can't sell you that.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
it is such a strong change stone, and I can tell just based on the conversation that we're having, it's not going to go well.
Right. Right. Yeah. For sure.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Cool.
What about grids? Because the first time I ever heard of a crystal grid was when you just brought it to my attention. So I've never heard of it. So what is that too? I think most people don't know.
The definition of a crystal grid is a specific set of crystals organized in a specific pattern for a specific intention. Okay.
Okay.
So this is one of the grids that I keep. Now all of the stones I put putty on all of my grid stones so that they don't fall, especially the ones around my house. I've got cats. But this is an elemental grid. This is a grid that I keep in my healing room because I use a lot of elemental energy. And then I've got preonite and epidote on the edge. So inside you can see the 4 directions, okay? And then the 5th for spirit. Black tourmaline is throughout the grid, not only in the inner circle, but the outer circle as well, because it transmutes energy, okay? So it's going to take any kind of energy, transmute it, the elemental energy, turn it into healing energy, and disperse it throughout the space. You can use grids for grief. You can use grids for embracing change. Protection. You can build a protection grid. You can build an abundance grid.
Abundance grid. Who doesn't want that one?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many different purposes that you can use grids for. My favorite thing to do is to meditate with them. Okay. And I leave them in my healing room. I have specific grids that, if I notice a lot of clients coming in with a lot of communication issues, I will build a communication grid and start keeping that under my table in my session room. But you can build grids with, and again, follow your intuition. Ignore the naysayers of you can't use that stone for that. Okay. Or you can't use those stones together.
Yep.
Because what a grid is about is combining those energies together.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome.
sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And also Stephanie, on her website, she actually sells the whole grid kit. So, if you're looking for a grid, she's got some for sale. If you're looking for something she doesn't have, chat with her because she does a lot of custom stuff. She does custom jewelry as well. So please go check out her website for sure. Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on today. We greatly appreciate you coming and sharing your wisdom with us.
You're welcome. I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me.
All right. So remember that intention is key with doing any kind of protection, any type of cleansing work. And before you start, take a moment to set that intention. It doesn't take long. It can take up to 10 seconds, a minute. It depends on how you want to word that, how you want to connect with whatever it is you're doing. And before you start any ritual, also focus on the positivity that you want to bring in. So it's not just releasing the negativity, but also bringing in the positivity. And trust your intuition, just like Stephanie was saying. Trust your intuition with what method of cleansing works best for you, and in your beliefs, and all that good stuff. And you could experiment with different techniques and tools, find out what resonates with you and brings you peace and protection. And if you need to, reach out to a spiritual teacher, a healer, a counselor, and ask for, assistance. If you want to drop us an email, we're happy to help in any way we can. Don't forget to check the comments of YouTube for all of the links that I mentioned on this episode today. I'll drop those for you. And thank you so much for joining in and tuning in today. Next week, we're going to be talking about imposter syndrome. I don't know who's not guilty of that, honestly. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and make sure to check us out on TikTok and Instagram. Links are in our link tree down below. And if you feel called to support the channel, we are always greatly appreciative of any love donations. So again, thank you folks for joining. Peace and blessings to you.